Rockford was the most famous in this little era. And so we did Toma for 22, and then we took the summer, and then pilot season came, and Cannell invented this guy down on the beach, and Cannell said genius stuff to us, genius stuff. You know, he said, I said, who is this guy? He said, well, he said, look, Garner's from Oklahoma, so the guy's a little Southern. He said, you know, his dad's a trucker, and he's the anti-hero. He's more interested in $200 a day plus expenses than he is in saving a good. Doesn't want to get in a fight. Doesn't want to get his ass kicked, you know. So I said, well, okay. And then he said this great word, you know. He said, there's something about him that just has his hand on his hip and is wry. Just this wry sense of himself. He'd laughing at himself. I went, okay, Steve. He goes, what are you going to do? I said, let me think. You know, I came back, you know, I called him, I said, harmonica. He said, oh, great idea. I said, nobody's done a blues harmonica thing on TV. And I said, we're going to do something different. We're going to use dobro. Huh? I said, it's a bluegrass instrument, but it's got this thing to it. It has this sass to it. And I said, we're going to use electric guitar. It's going to be funky. Oh, I don't know about electric guitars. I said, you know, just go back and listen to your Peter, Paul, and Mary records, Cannell. Don't get me any trouble, you know. So I don't know about electric guitars, you know. You always want to make it sound like the Allman Brothers, you know. So it's like, you know, I mean, the best guy. So, you know, Pete and I sit down and we okay, and now we'll put a little orchestra with it. We'll put a chamber group on steroids with it, you know, like 2 flutes, 2 French horns, 2 trombones. I mean, what a weird little orchestra, you know. That's me and Pete just throwing curveballs. Don't do it the same as everybody else. So, you know, now we're trying to come up with hit licks. I said, look, let's make 1-minute hit records. Let's do that. So we did. And next thing you know, it's a hit record. And Cannell, by the way, Cannell came on the stage and heard it and went, oh, man. And of course, everybody else, you know, I mean, no offense, but the Roy Huggins and the Mita Rosenbergs and all the older folks that are, you know, that are real TV people are going, well, we don't know. What does everybody else think? What does everybody else think? Well, let's see what the agents think. Let's see what the, you know, can't we test this someplace? You know, no, we're just going to have a genius like Steve Cannell go, yeah, do that. Or could it be a little bluer? Sure, Steve. Here, do that. You know, Cannell knows what to say to you and when not to mess with you.
Well, this became a hit record.
It did.
Was that even in your mind at that point?
Yes,
I mean,
it was.
because you came from a background of making hit records.
Yes, it was.
So how did that actually become, how did that get released?
Jimmy Bowen. Everything goes back to my oldest and dearest friends, you know, my big brothers. And, you know, the show was marginal in its first, you know, maybe 4 or 5 shows. Then it was a hit. And so I'd let it sit for a year and do really good. And then I went to Bowen, who was president of MGM Records. I said, Bowen, I think I got an instrumental hit here. I'd already had one big instrumental hit on Classical Gas. He said, okay, you want to do it as an artist? I said, yeah. Let's put my name on it. I actually went to Pete and I said, Pete, let's have both our names on this. He goes, can't you just see me going on Dick Clark? You know, he's like older than my father, you know. I said, well, you know, hippest, oldest guy I ever met, you know. But he was right. You know, and that was just me peeking out from the curtain. I'm a behind the scenes guy. I don't want to ever get recognized and all. And, you know, people in the business, you know who I am. That was plenty of fame. Dolly Parton once told me, she said, you got it better than anybody I know. You got all the good parts and none of the bad parts of being famous.